decided to do this discussion about family search is because I know a lot of people probably are aware of it. They came out with a new way to search their records in the past couple of years called full text search. Before we start, I just want to kind of get an idea of who actually has a family search account. Okay. So about half.
Yeah.
Has everybody that has a family search used full text search? No? Okay. Well, for years and years, Family Search was basically a collection of just GEDCOM files. There wasn't a whole lot going on. The organization has been collecting records from way, way back, and they have microfilms probably in the basement at the library.
Floors and floors and floors.
Yeah. It's just gobs and gobs of stuff. And of course, there's only so many hours in a day and so many humans that are willing to do indexing. In the past, they relied a lot on human indexing. And if you look at the website under activities, there's still opportunities to volunteer and index records. But they've been making progress towards adding sources to the tree in the last 5 or 6 years. And at the same time, Ancestry was, anybody that's used Ancestry knows they've been digitizing and indexing stuff like crazy using computers. Then in 2022, when the 1950 census came out, Ancestry and Family Search made a deal where they split the census. And Ancestry did most of it with computer. Family Search put the rest of it out on their website for humans to index. And Ancestry won, of course. But it was a fun thing to do if you took part in the 1950 census. But they continued to build on what they learned with that and the AI that they learned using that. And a couple of years ago at RootsTech, they unveiled the full text search. How many people here attend RootsTech? Have anybody heard? How many people have not heard?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, RootsTech is the family is a family search basically a seminar meeting every year, and it's usually around February. And the last several years, particularly since the pandemic, you don't have to go to Salt Lake City to attend it. You can attend it virtually through the web. And that's where the full text search was announced. Before that, it was a experimental. And the Family Search they've been, for the last several years, they've been maintaining a lab section where they do experiments, and full text search was one of those. And you can go to this page and see what they're doing now. And if you want to, you can actually try it out if it's something that appeals to you. But anyway, a couple of years ago, RootsTech, they finally announced that it was going to be moved out of the experimental phase, basically because there was such a good feedback from people that used it when it was an experimental. And I recommend that you sign up. If you already have a Family Search account, I recommend you go ahead and sign up for RootsTech and go to the website, because you can search for webinars from past years. Some of them include how-tos on family search using full text search and other. And matter of fact, this handout that I sent out, this page came from one of the handouts from one of the presenters that presented the webinar. This about tips for full text searching. Okay. So how do we get there? Search. Oh, by the way, this is a new thing that they're doing. AI assisted. Yeah. So another new one, but search, full text search. Okay, you have a couple of ways to search. You can just type in some things that you're looking for and it will try to find them. Or you can go to advanced search and do more specifics. Since I've been using it before it was released, and the only thing that was available at the time was the advanced search, I tend to go to this page first. And in the early days, some of the filtering did not work. So when we first started using it, you just put in a name.
You see that? Could you say what you're typing?
Sharon, can you maybe turn out one of the lights so we can see the TV a little better too?
Was it glare?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put in my second great grandfather's name.
Could you say what that was?
Stephen Gatewood.
Thank you.
And once I get to this screen, I can see all the hits that it found. Well, at 14 pages. The best way to do this is to filter it down a little bit. So I'm going to go to collection years. And I know that he lived from about 1810 to about almost 1880. So I'll collect all those years. Or I can click just one 10-year decade. Either way. And I know that he lived in North Carolina in Rockingham County. And he lived in Weakley County, Tennessee.
An option to make that at all bigger.
I don't know. Can you make this bigger?
No, I mean, I've made the people small as I can. Like,
If you control plus, will it make it bigger?
So I can go here and see, I've narrowed it down to 3. They said, when I first started using this, I was more interested in his life in North Carolina than I was in Tennessee, because one of the great mysteries of my branch of Gatewoods that lived in Weakley County, Tennessee, nobody knew what Stephen's father's name was. So let's take out Weakley County and go to North Carolina. Now we have 6 records that show up. Okay, 1835, 1832, 1832. And sometimes you will see the same record show up twice. So out of those 6 records, the 1832 looks like the the oldest. So when I pull this up, I have the original and I have what the computer thinks it says. And this is something to do with the guardianship of Freeman Gatewood, Peter and Stephen Gatewood. Well, I knew Freeman was Stephen's older brother. I knew he had other brothers, but I did not know that he had a brother named Peter. Let's look at this one. Now, this is one of the ways you can track where your relatives live down south, because they may pop up in probate and they might pop up in court records. The only other time they pop up is when they've been assigned to work on a road.
Gang.
Here's another one of the same. I think it might be the same. Yeah, assigned to work on a road. You get duplicates. Now, the one that I wanted to show you guys is not showing up. One of the things that this little tip sheet drives home, there's no correct way of searching. It's try everything and see what sticks. So I'm going to try filtering again. I know that he moved to Weakley County in 1830, in the late 1830s. So I'm going to concentrate on the first few years of 1800 and go back to North Carolina again, Rockingham, see if I get anything different. Getting the same thing. This is not showing what I want. I have a fix for that.
Pull up the record that you saved.
Yep. This is one of the things that I found out about full text search is you don't see it first, try again, because it really comes up different things. Just the other day, I was searching for something else and I found another record of Stephen that I had never seen before. And it was because the name, the way the computer read the name was Galewood instead of Gatewood. So I now have 27 sources for Stephen. If you look at the dates that these were added, they've all been since most of them have been since the full text search came out in 2024. Before that, all we had were like 3 or 4 census records. We had the 1840 census, the 1850 census, the 1860 census. But here we go, back to 1828. This is the one I wanted to show you. This is ordered by the court that the computer thought it was Lumen Gatewood. That's actually Freeman Gatewood. Be appointed guardian for the heirs of JNO, John Gatewood. That was the first time I'd ever seen the name Stephen's father.
I would have thought J&O was Jonathan.
No, it's abbreviation for John. So this was the first time that I saw this. So what happened is Freeman, the older brother, who evidently was of age, was appointed as guardian for his younger brothers, Peter, John, and Stephen, the heirs of John Gatewood. The next source, 1833 property records. Maybe the same one, yes. That's not what I want.
Those are property records.
That's the original record.
It's when you look at those thumbnails that you say, you know, the alternatives, you go through them page by page by page. And you would never in a million years.
At the library, on the microfiche.
The current number of images, well, it doesn't want to. The current number of images that they say they have scanned and added to this is 2 billion.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
So I don't hold it against them that they don't get the spelling right all the time. So here's a little bit plainer. John Gatewood, heirs, state of North Carolina, and this, you can read this writing. Rockingham County, the amount of money coming on hand belonging to John Osborne Gatewood and Stephen Gatewood.
That's beautiful handwriting.
Yeah, that was their inheritance, $15.26.
Excellent.
The thing that really got me about this was the premier person that worked on the Gatewoods for years and years, Carolyn Gothberg. She was of the opinion that almost all Gatewoods came from one immigrant. And our Y-DNA seems to point to that, but we cannot get past this person
John.
to connect to the other tree. And before she died, she had a theory that his name was Bartlett, because that was the only thing she could figure out that fit into what she had. But she died 6 months before this came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really wish she could have seen it.
Did you ever find anything about John?
There's so many John Gatewoods that it's hard to track them.
From North Carolina?
Well, they came from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
They came from Virginia into North Carolina, but differentiating one John Gatewood from another.
Even with a restricted time period, it doesn't work?
It doesn't work because there was hardly any records. You know, if they didn't own property, there wasn't much, or they weren't in court. There's not much. There's not much to.
And one died soon, and the next one, John. So there's that. Oh.
So what do the census records say that John Gatewood?
There is no census record for John Gatewood in North Carolina that I can find. That's the mystery to me. Is I just I just haven't been well, for years, nobody knew what his name was. Everybody referred to him as Mr. Gates. Then there's my great grandfather, who shows up in the full text search for the wrong reasons.
Wrong reasons.
He was selling whiskey on election day. And he was in for that for a couple of times. And then
You didn't learn, did you?
then he was in for stealing clothes and morphine from the store.
Oh.
And we never have figured out what happened to him. We know he died sometime in the late 1870s, but I cannot find the death record. Somebody put a find a grave in, but I don't know where they got the
Go back up.
information for that.
Sentenced to 4 years of the penitentiary
Yes.
in Nashville.
And I have looked at the penitentiary records to see if he was admitted. I can't find it. My grandfather used to tell my father a story when he was a little boy, that when he was young, he was born in 72, so late 70s, he would have been about 5 or 6 years old. Somebody told him they were going to buy him a new suit of clothes for Easter. But before Easter came, they went into the barn and cut their throat. So we don't know if it was his father or his maternal grandfather, because we know it wasn't his paternal grandfather. And since there's no death records, and they didn't keep birth and death records in the South till about 1910. So anybody's guess. So the fact that I've been able to collect 20 records about him, bad or otherwise, is pretty much a miracle to me. So the other rule of thumb is you can edit this. First search doesn't work. Try again. Try misspelling.
Or even just putting in just the Stephen G.
Yes, you can use some wild cards. Another common way that Gatewood was misspelled was Gatewood.
Gaite.
Gate.
Oh, no E.
That was
Gait.
that was another way that see, I found a court record in Weakley County where it was misspelled. My family was in Palmersville, which was in the eastern part of the county, and the county seat was in the center of the county, Dresden. There was one clerk that worked at the court in Dresden that didn't know how to spell Gatewood. He consistently spelled it G-A-I-T.
Well, thank goodness he did, because that's a whole side of the family that's not yours. So see how that works? Keep the riffraff on the other spelling.
I almost didn't find the court records for John Gatewood, my great grandfather, because they misspelled his name when he was on trial.
So they're comparing the spelling exactly as you put it in with however it was
Well, what it is, if you look at the record versus the text,
Mhm.
the computer's just doing optical character recognition.
No, but it's comparing it to whatever
It's trying to interpret it.
the
And
OTR said.
yeah, and sometimes it interprets it literally and it's misspelled, and
Mhm.
sometimes it interprets it because it's poorly written
Mhm.
and so
And he's putting it in quotes too.
yeah,
So you always.
I found quotes to work better.
Yeah, if you don't use quotes, you get every Stephen and every Gatewood.
But if you put Stephen plus Gatewood,
And see, this is the one that I found yesterday when I was just fooling around, getting ready for this, that I hadn't seen before. This is another. I don't know why these things they get duplicated several instances. This was in 1835. This must have been the last gasp of the probate, because not only does does Stephen get $15.26, he gets 1 year of interest. So it comes up to $16.14.
Oh, wow.
And then it's got his brother John up here. And another reason why I know this is my family is Coleman Brand was married to Stephen and John's sister. And he and his wife stayed in North Carolina, but some of the Brands came over to Weakley County, Tennessee in the 1830s, along with the Gatewoods. There was a lot of people from Western North Carolina went to northwestern Tennessee. The land that was Weakley County opened up in the 1830s because they had moved the Chickasaws out.
Mhm.
The other thing that you can do sometimes to narrow things down a little. You could put one name in, and maybe as a keyword for somebody else that you're looking for, like wife or some specific record. Like I said, you can put
Stephen Gatewood Weekly County, Tennessee.
this is the simple search. And that comes back with 124 records. Now, the other part is if you don't limit by year, sometimes you might get a younger Stephen that was named after Stephen that appears. So that's where filtering it down helps. I have found so many records for the Gatewoods using this that I never, ever in my wildest dreams ever thought that I would find.
Zilpha.
Zelpa.
Zilpha, Mexico Gatewood
Yep.
is the name.
Yep.
Rick, do you think like the success of the full text search, do you think it will like change the directions that Family Search moves in? Like, do you think they'll even bother indexing some things because this works?
Well, I think that, they're doing all this, they're offering all this stuff for free. They're not charging large subscription money. And the church is subsidizing a lot of this, I'm sure. I think they will continue to use all avenues. If you go over to let's see. I've been able to, because of the change in Family Search to start offering records and full text search, I've been able to make lots of contributions.
53,000 connections, contributions.
This is what I did on this 1950 census. Now I could have sworn my finger gave out after 18,000, but they said that it was 24,000. And there's still opportunities for indexing. You go to the opportunities page, you can do quick name review, and you can do as many as you want. You can do like 10, do 10 and then
Can you
stop.
show us one example? Add another one or two to your list.
State,
Maine.
like they don't offer.
Okay, so pick one. Tennessee, there we go.
So why would not Maine be there?
They might not have anything that needed to be indexed
I
for
see.
Maine at that point.
Okay.
It's just whatever. So what it's going to ask you is to look at that and see if what the computer thinks it is what you think it is. And you can say match. Now
No,
that doesn't look like Sanders, does it?
It's like an N.
Yeah, it does look like an N. I'm going to say unsure.
price. And then someone else will have to double check because you made a
And
change.
now we did GP.
Yeah,
And does that look like Gribble to you? Looks like Gribble to me.
going with Gribble. Oh, this is a,
Nails, one lot of nails.
Lot nails, and I'm going to say it's not a person.
No.
oh, this is a,
And this is William.
this is a rabbit hole from hell.
Well,
Oh my God.
that's not all. There's more.
Oh, no. Don't teach me how to do this. I'm gonna have to quit my job.
When you're retired.
I have, my list of when retired is so long right now. I'm gonna have to double retire.
Well, the thing about some of the opportunities that they offer you, you can do little bits.
Unless you can't figure out how to stop.
So how many people have to review? When I was doing found links in the UK, they had 3 different people review it before they had someone else.
On the indexing,
Yeah,
I have no idea. They just ask you to do whatever you can and submit it. And I don't know if it goes in for another review.
Since
or
you
not.
changed it to price, is somebody else gonna have to verify they agree with you
I don't know.
or two?
I would,
Yeah,
I think so.
hope so.
Yes. And a lot of nails would be a
Yeah.
lot nails.
Yeah.
Here's my grandfather, what nails?
And if you're tired too, I mean, you may just accept something when,
Well, the context would be there, like that was a.
yeah.
List of stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
one
that
of the
applies.
features that, let's see if we can get Steven back up here.
So I want to go back to what Sharon was asking. You asked if you thought that this might reverse.
Well, yeah, this might just change how they focus their energies, you know what I mean? Rather than steering materials into indexing, instead they just consider this, oh, this is good enough, you know what I mean? Instead they prioritize.
Well, if you look at this page where it says on the transcript, for a while they tried letting people edit, but for now they turned that off. Okay, so there's a possibility that they might let people edit so that if somebody sees something obviously wrong, they can correct what the translation is.
So this is all AI that's generating
Yeah,
this?
this is basically AI that's generating this.
Because like Ancestry offers a similar full text, but you have to pay for now, right?
Well, the problem with Ancestry's full text search is you have to have the entire package, Ancestry
Right.
package, in order to get it, which to me seems crazy, but that's the way.
And the entire package means the US subscription?
No,
or
it
any
means
subscription?
everything.
The whole world and everything.
The big
Extensive one.
cheese, the big kahuna, you know? I mean,
What does the full one do? I mean, does that include helps and things like that, or?
you mean Ancestry?
Yeah,
Well, I think it includes the world and newspapers, and you have the full, don't you?
I bought newspapers separately.
Okay, you bought newspapers separately. I do that sometimes
I have
too.
Ancestry worldwide, so I can get access to Canadian records.
Yeah,
Can you do the full on Ancestry at the library?
No, so that's the thing, is that the library package is a different subscription that does not have those features.
yeah, I looked at the Ancestry, and it looks to me like the Ancestry is still more like indexing than doing the entire text. From what I could tell, from what I looked at online, but I don't have it. So nobody else here has it. I think that this is probably the biggest thing that's happened to FamilySearch in years. I mean, their website has been improving over time, but this is a big deal. They were starting to put more sources in before that. Like I said, the census records and things like that were available, but there wasn't a whole lot of sources like there were on Ancestry. I mean, Ancestry's been really good about digitizing carloads of stuff and indexing it with AI. But this, if they keep up with this and they keep scanning the records that they have, I mean, I guess the limit is going to be how much hard disk space they have. But you can still do indexing volunteer work on FamilySearch if you want to. And there's other ancillary places where you can volunteer. And this is on the handout. The BYU Recording Link Lab, they have indexing opportunities too. And you can sign up for 5 a day. So
There you go, limits.
yeah. Okay.
And I've been doing that. I've been doing that for quite a while, and it's gotten to the point where I look forward to
Where
it
is
every day.
The bottom.
This is what it looks like. comes in your email. And every day they'll send you 5 hints to look at to see what you think about them. So you click the hint, it opens up a family
This
search,
is like Wordle. At midnight, you can do your 5 and then goes like.
and then you
Oh,
look at it and you see whether it jives or not. And if you're convinced that it's good,
she has a different middle initial.
they both were born in Alabama. But we all know how bad census records are.
That's true.
Okay. So they're born in Alabama. He was born in Georgia. Dates are pretty clear. If you have any doubt, you can just go and open that person and look at it. But a lot of these are real straightforward, easy to do.
Except for this first one.
Well, actually, this one's pretty good. What you run into sometimes is you run into duplicates and other times you'll run into some that just don't jive.
I remember the old days when it was all based on the submissions from people was, people with 2 sets of parents and.
Well, that still happens. And that's one of the things they're trying to get people to clear up. If you see something and you can figure it out and fix it,
I fixed the one that said I was dead.
We're so happy.
Issues.
Here's another one. A lot of times the person that entered them in the tree got their maiden name correct, but of course the census record has their
married
married
name.
name. And another thing that makes this pretty that makes this look good is somebody's already said this is the same person.
Yeah.
So you can just go ahead and attach it.
Oh, you have to attach each of the fields. Oh, no.
So that's another way to volunteer. Any questions about Roots Tech or FamilySearch or full text search?
Bring up full text search again. I'll show you my quick 5-second thing that I just played with. So go to basic search, simple search. And mom wants to know why Lyman Pinsent ended up at Katahdin Ironworks. So we're always trying to Pincincinc. And so for fun, I'm like, okay, well, we'll search yet another place. So press apply. That's all I put.
You have friends with everything?
And the very first thing that came up was with the court records. Go ahead, click on the first one. And he's from Mifflin County in Pennsylvania, so we knew that was a match. I didn't put any dates or anything. But apparently Lyman got in trouble and had to go to court because he broke into someone's barn. And John W. Pinsent was his what's the word? Surety. And it's this whole thing about the court record. And I'm like, wait, this now adds personality to Lyman misbehaving. It's his dad, who we can't find anything more about. And there's a whole record about, his brother and all these different people. So we will print this out later, Mom, so you can look at it. But that was 8 seconds of me saying, oh, this is cool. Let me try it out. And
Well, look at this. There's 18.
Yep,
18
there's a lot of court
and
records.
17 of them are Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and one of them is probably Pennsylvania too.
Yeah, and a lot of court records. So apparently Lyman
know about him in Maine.
Yeah, well, he's misbehaving in Pennsylvania. He probably had to escape quickly to head to Maine because he was,
Persona non grata.
I had one where
yeah,
they had to leave the state
yeah,
or go to
Well,
another choice.
yeah.
I encourage people to sign into FamilySearch, try full text search, work on your tree. Don't forget Roots Tech. Go look at those webinars.
We do some great workshops.
And here's another
Yeah.
place where you can get webinars is the BYU Library Family History Center. And they had a YouTube video for getting to know Family Search. And everybody and their brother's probably got a YouTube video.
You could email that out to people for their September genealogy homework assignment to watch that video.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I can definitely email out the handout. Rick send me that and then.
The most important reason to have a Family Search account is so you can play Wheel of Family Fortune.
Or you can find your relatives in the room. That's the one that I think is the most fun.
I haven't done that yet.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go with mine. You can put an ID of a person somewhere in your tree if you want to check their tree first. We have no sound, but it makes a sound.
Of course it does.
My feedback.
Pick a letter.
Yeah,
G.
it's doing its echo.
Nope.
Was this supposed to be somebody in your family?
All right, Dana, pick a letter.
D.
S.
Bummer.
Doesn't help.
Are we like 0 for 3?
Help.
Player one's got 600.
How about an A, just because they're always vowels?
By a vowel.
You want to buy a vowel?
She said A.
Buy it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I'm not buying anybody.
H.
Hey, player two. How about a P?
He said P.
So this is your family, is that correct? And the goal of this, because I'm having a hard time seeing it, is to guess who this person is that
This-
right?
This is Wheel of Fortune.
So is it?
This is something
The hint above says a person born in 1826.
What's a person?
In your,
name?
in your family.
There's somebody off your tree.
Do you know who it is?
Do you know who it is?
I know the last name.
Let's do the letters to the last name then, see, because if you know what the last name.
Sprague, no.
This weekend you looked.
T. L. Simpson.
Oh, do you don't have any vowels?
We don't know.
Simple.
Sample.
Simon.
That's a simple sample, L sample.
That should tell you right there.
Name is William.
William.
There you go.
William Simple.
Simple.
How much do vowels cost?
We can put you can put the W in there,
William Sample.
but it's sample or simple.
You'd be surprised how much time you could spend.
No, we wouldn't.
Like I said, that's a good reason to put your tree in there.
I guess we better get internet at the cottage.
They also have,
Just a question, Rick, would you show us how to change an error in your own family tree?
engineer,
Change if there's something in there that's wrong,
like an example.
like,
Most families.
Death date.
yeah, but when it comes up with family search your own tree.
Okay.
If I have somebody in there that I'm sure is wrong. When I did somebody in the room that you're relative related to, I came up with somebody, I looked at the tree and I said, that's not my person.
It depends. sometimes you can't change things and sometimes you can't. You have to get the person that made the change, but it depends.
Okay, I mean, I contacted the person who said I was dead and said, no, I'm not. I mean, that would be easy.
Yeah, like
But
for
you
Stephen.
have the wrong Mercy Jones and it's different Mercy Jones. Then it's harder to sort of say,
So is this an individual family tree or is this the big family tree in there?
So what if
my
you,
own.
so what if you go to the
I
sources?
do what they created themselves.
So every one of this is the details page. And almost every one of the main details is editable. So you go in there and you click edit, and most of the time you can look over here and maybe find a source that will give you
Open one of those carrots on the sources, the tag sources.
shows you the source, the record.
Yeah, but it's allow you to
And
report it
you
as
can
error.
actually see the census record. Stephen's not a good, maybe not a good choice because he's so. Yeah. Let's go to somebody newer.
I'm glad my name isn't Zilha Meeks either.
See, like Calvin Gatewood. You know how it was with old census records. It wasn't until we get to find a grave that the correct birth date is on his tombstone. And we know that you have to find a grave to find out if that really is correct.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were wrong on, they carved them wrong too.
Right. And sometimes people that put them in make a mistake when they enter the data.
Okay.
And I've been to find a grave pages and read the date on the stone and it did not match with the person.
Yeah.
And I put in a request for edit and they fixed it. But like if you wanted to change the,
You guys respond. I've gotten responses from Find Grave.
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
And I went out, somebody had added the parents of somebody that I was looking for. And I was looking for those parents. And so I said, how do you know? And he said, from the census. And I thought, oh,
Oh.
great.
yeah, yeah,
And so it was the wrong, I don't know what her name was, but whatever her name was, there were two of them. And he picked the wrong parents. And I finally got a death record, sent to him and said, no, this is wrong.
Well, that's the thing. People make up find a grave entries. But if the death of date is wrong, you can change it by going in, you just click edit and edit here and it allows you to change the date, the birthplace, and give a reason for the change.
Then it's correct.
But they don't change it until they approve it, do they?
I've never had any trouble changing them. Now I have working on those 5 a day hints.
Mhm.
I have come across a lot of the ones that come. I take that back. I mean, go to the home page. Besides your AI research assistant, they will give you a list of people that they think are maybe related to you. And sometimes they may not be related to you, but they're from profiles and tree that you worked on.
Mhm.
And
Oh, that's annoying.
I go through these and see if I can do. Now I've got this down to 73 at the moment. Sometimes it gets down to almost nothing, then all of a sudden they'll dump a couple hundred. And once in a while I get a relative that I actually know. But
So they're typically just
But
kind of
if-
randomly put in there because it looked like they might be.
well, I'll give you an example. Happened recently. I was working on a family. A lot of these records tend to be immigrants from the early part of the 20th century.
Mhm.
And a lot of big families that get taught in the first census after they get here.
Mhm.
And then the names and relationships are not real clear. And I took one census at its face value and entered it. And some lady called me and said, that wasn't the wife. That was a relative that came over from Italy with the family, but she went back and she couldn't change what I had done. So I had to make the change.
Okay.
So sometimes, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's because you're not the one that made the entry.
Yeah, because I know, as I said, I had to
Yeah.
tell somebody that I wasn't dead, not, I couldn't change it myself. I couldn't make me alive again.
CPR ones.
But the other thing I was going to show you was
Oh, they had Jeopardy.
Gene or Party.
Well, it's-
So it lets you choose how many generations back you want to go to make it a little easier.
Yeah.
Which of these people died in 83?
George.
It's my father. Places.
You gotta start with the big numbers.
Which of these people were born in Tiptonville? Oh boy.
Maynard.
I'm gonna say.
All right.
So this is from your tree.
But it's just like
$500
it's just like the Wheel of Family Fortune. If you put an ID from somebody else in Family Search, it'll use their tree. So like if you want to just do one segment of your family, you just put that person's ID and it'll be their ancestors.
Can you put a couple of IDs in there, like if you have a family?
No.
So you have chosen a person?
No, I just went in with
It just
mine.
pulled his tree.
It's pulling
Okay.
from my tree.
500.
You go back.
You're sucked in, Kathy.
I want to see how harder the questions are.
See where it says
Okay.
you can use a deceased person's tree. You can put another ID in there. So I could go over and capture and copy ID. So now I'm only using Calvin O. Gatewood's family.
Oh.
And this gets much more difficult.
Elizabeth Randall.
It doesn't ring a bell. I'm going to say Lucy Haynes. Okay.
No.
So the rest of these people are just random people. You know, they just picked anybody out.
Well, I'm assuming they pick people out of the tree.
The three other names.
Oh, okay.
So you have dates.
So you could potentially recognize all four of those names.
If you had your tree memorized.
There are people out there who do that, I swear. That's my
Dana-
grandmother.
Dana, you've got this nailed.
20,000 people on it.
Well, that's the thing with me. I've got like 20,000 people. So we have places, people, facts, or other.
Facts.
Oh, fan.
Common country of birth in your tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it? Places, people, or facts?
Facts.
Facts. Which of these people lived to 1850? Christopher Noblin.
Sure.
Do a hard one, come on.
Yeah, do a hard one after this. Haynes.
This you should know because we just had her.
I wasn't paying attention. Dawson. Phelps.
Okay, pick
Places 500.
500.
places for 500.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh boy, probably all of them.
Phelps.
I think it's a win.
Colonel. Colonel John.
I would. It could be any of them because
All right.
almost all of my relatives came from Virginia.
All right, you pick.
I'm not gonna pick. I don't know.
Colonel.
Phelps.
Colonel
Of course,
Phelps.
Phelps.
Yes.
The force is with you.
He's psychic, we didn't know that. Now we-
He sounded more regal.
Using the revolution.
Mom, pick one.
I can't see them.
Pick a number. 100 to 500.
500.
All right, Mom wants a $500
For
other.
other,
Yeah.
other for 500. What is the most common month of birth on the tree?
That's ridiculous.
Well, I know what it was in my tree, but I don't
What's
know
the
what it
most
is for
common month
Cal.
everyone was born in your tree?
I'm gonna guess it's August.
It is August.
No,
September.
oops, it was July.
July.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so random.
Oh, it started getting cold.
Yeah, right.
If you have a family of mariners, it's like the ship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and they go.
9 months. When is
If they were farmers, then.
Oh,
they
this
wouldn't-
is where you really need to be good at memorization.
They would have conceived, That's right, yes.
Which,
Born in July.
I have no idea.
Hancock. No. Oh,
Maybe you should have put on your head.
I know.
John Bowen.
That's the one you wanted to do before.
I was gonna pick Bowen.
Oh, my gosh.
Which one?
Do we have questions from our guests from TV?
There's some other activities on the Family History Technology Lab too. Ancestor games. I think these are more aimed at younger people, but they have Record Quest. Who's your daddy?
You just said what?
I didn't know my dad was.
What you doing genealogy today? Who's your daddy?
So these records that you can do the full, the text search are only records that have been digitized
It's a selection.
by the.
FamilySearch.
By FamilySearch.
It's a selection of 2 billion images that have been scanned in.
And mostly court records or other stuff too?
Originally, it was, for New England, I found mostly deeds and probates. That's what I found originally. And now there are some vital records in there.
Yeah.
There's other stuff in there as well.
I think they concentrated mostly on deeds and probate and court records because that is what people are missing the
Right.
most, you know.
Yes, you can usually find vital records, don't really need to use.
Okay, I haven't played this before.
But I think there are also some town records. And what the Mormons did was their mimeograph machines around all these towns, I think in the 1950s.
They were doing it forever.
This is
They sat there
guessing
with the
game.
record books.
Yeah.
Town record books are often the town meeting
Yeah,
agenda.
Yes,
Who was appointed hog reeve for that year.
right,
yeah.
And some of those you can do a full text search on, and that's the only way you can find out
Right.
what some of these guys did,
right.
except for their dates of birth and death and kids.
Yeah, I found some of those, I was looking for DAR Patriot, and one of them was a selectman. And for DAR,
Yeah,
if you
That
were,
counts.
if you were any officer in a
Officer.
town that was under the control of
During the revolution.
during the revolution, under the control of the Patriots, as opposed to all those records on Long Island where if they were all under control of the British, and that doesn't count.
Unless you were a rebel and secret.
Except if you're a rebel and secret, you weren't killing anybody.
Well, in the
It was in
past
someone's diary.
past 2 years, I've been going through and working with some of my relatives. In the South, there's very few records of people. I mean, you're even lucky to get into the census, but they usually didn't keep records unless it was a deed or probate or a court appearance, because they were only interested in things that were money. And they didn't do vital records and things like that. So like I said, a lot of times I could kind of follow the immigration pattern. Like some of my relatives would land in South Carolina and then they would kind of move over to North Carolina and then maybe over to Tennessee or somewhere. And they might show up because they got picked to work on the road.
And where did they primarily come from?
My relatives,
Yeah,
mostly Britain
yeah.
or Germany.
So if they were working on the roads, was it a chain gang or were they paying their taxes?
No,
Yes.
they basically gave people that lived in the county responsibility for maintaining certain parts of the road. Everybody took turns at
And I
it.
know around here, you got your taxes rebated for working on the roads or doing whatever.
They would appoint an overseer, and then they would appoint able-bodied men in the county to maintain a section of the road.
Like I don't remember off the top of my head dates, but I just started with something very basic. And so they said this will still be another rabbit hole. It said, these two people lived in Arkansas during a pivotal area when Blytheville transitioned from a newly incorporated settlement in 1889 into an emergency agricultural center. And because public digital databases do not feature a widely published biographical profile for this branch of the family, reconstructing their lives requires navigating local historical context and specific records. So it said when they got married, this town permanently secured its local post office and operated amidst a booming regional timber industry. If they married exactly in this place in Arkansas, the ceremony likely fell under the jurisdiction of the Chickasaw district of Mississippi County. So, I mean, it's like, and then it says, so their children would have been raised in the early 1900s, period when the expansion of railroads and advanced levee management drew thousands of new families to the fresh farmland surrounding this town, Blytheville, Arkansas.
Where is this coming from?
FamilySearch.
Okay.
So
You have family in Blytheville?
No.
I did. There's nobody there anymore.
Okay, well,
I mean, it's been a long.
I know Blytheville
Did they
because I've had relatives living there in that area.
Gatewoods?
Not Gatewoods.
Well, I went about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago with a cousin who we are related. We just found each other. And we went to Blytheville to try and find some records and to find the house that my great grandmother lived in, and we couldn't find it. And I found out afterwards when I got home that that house had burned.
Yeah.
And nobody in the town, nobody in the library ever heard of these people.
Well, the interesting thing about that part of Arkansas is it's right at the northeastern tip where the boot heel of Missouri comes down. So Blytheville is right across the line from Missouri. And people went back and forth between Blytheville and Boot Hill. That part of the country in the late 1800s was nothing but virgin forest. And there was a huge lumber industry there. They cut all the trees down, and now they grow cotton, soybeans, and rice because it's flat as a pancake.
Right.
But there's records to be had if they had court records, you know.
Danny and I had the same thought that sounds like that text is AI generated somehow.
Yeah.
That it's not.
That's an AI chat bot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the people working on roads. I had an ancestor who was a surveyor for William Pitt in Pennsylvania. So they were breaking through there, I guess, building roads.
One of the things that I like about the full text search is you can see the original and what the OCR was side by side. The thing about using a large language model AI, the problem they have with them is they do not know how to say, I do not know.
Right.
And if they don't know, they'll make it up.
Oh, geez.
did anybody see today I read somewhere on the news about some AI generated curriculum materials in Kentucky or whatever. They had all the states spelled wrong, with wrong, non-existent states.
But spelling doesn't matter.
Yep. And it was all AI generated and nobody had proofread it.
Mm.
I mean, really. I mean,
Any questions?
including, it was a Kentucky school district and Kentucky was spelled wrong.
Oh, no.
Well, this kitty cat wants to know what its inches.
Is that-
Linda Kittle, we like
So
your
if it is
picture.
a holding that that's in Salt Lake City, are they digitized? Are those?
They're trying.
Right,
Okay.
right. If you go, when I went to the library, it's, I don't know, 4 or 5 stories high.
Yeah, I've been there, yeah.
You know, and it was all those rows and rows and rows of
Oh, yes.
microfilm.
Yeah.
And I think they are slowly but I think I don't know whether they prioritized like American records or whether they're prioritizing, you know, how they're doing it.
Well, it tells you what records they've actually done for Family Search. They're doing them for other countries too, but primarily the United States, particularly when they were doing the first experimental part. But you were using this chat, AI chat. Is that what you used to get that?
No, I didn't get that far.
Okay. Because that's a new experimental that's on the lab page.
AI chat with your ancestors. So, talking to the dead.
Any questions?
I found the land records from when they sold the land in Maine.
I'm gonna try.
I emailed it to you.
Well, I think I'll end the Zoom. I'll send out the handout from Rick when I send the email with the recording.